In this live stream, me and Oliver talked about the Midnight Gospel, psychedelics, and the future for psilocybin mushrooms.
What's good?
Good, bro. Just
You
chilling.
been watching the Midnight Gospel?
Yeah, I just finished the third episode, which is, that's what you were talking about.
I rewatched it yesterday, and I've got a new interest in it. You know, once I
Yeah.
understood a lot of it and the context behind it, I really like it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was really cool. Do you think in some ways it could be bad to compact all the knowledge? Because I mean, I'm not saying I even think it is, but do you think it could be?
Well, I'm not sure of I don't know the actual traditions that they use. I'm not sure how they're cramming it in, but I guess no, I don't think it
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I don't think it is either.
It's mostly just, I think it's just meditating, just like all day, every day.
Yeah.
And he said that he loves it. You know, he said when basically the context behind it, I remember Duncan Trussell talking about it on a Joe Rogan podcast. The guy who was talking was, he was one of the kids who was wrongly imprisoned for some murder, and he was about to be executed. Like, he was on death row, and they did a DNA test and found out it wasn't him. I want to look into it because it seems interesting, cramming all of that into one lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I feel like kind of psychedelics also kind of cram it, you know?
Well, they aid the process.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, they kind of aid it. Yeah, and kind of can speed
really
it up.
puts you in that state of, it makes it really easy to meditate.
Yeah.
And just aids the process of enlightenment. So yeah, I guess, I wonder if there's some religions that use psychedelics as tools.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Because I mean, there are ayahuasca ceremonies and all those things in South America. We have Buddhist monks shaking leaves in front of your face and burning sage, and they're going, oh, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, dude, I really want to do an ayahuasca ceremony too.
Wait, how many times have you tripped, ever?
I've done 5 shroom trips and 12 acid trips.
Would you say you've learned a lot?
Yeah, I think I definitely have, you know.
They put things in front of your face that are usually in the background of real life.
Yeah, I would definitely say I've learned from them. And even though I've done shrooms a third of the amount of times, I'd still say I've probably learned more from shrooms.
Really?
Yeah. Acid does a similar thing to shrooms where opens your eyes to new ideas and opens your mind up. But I'd say shrooms, when you do them, it's every single time it's spiritual or having to do with growth and stuff. But acid can just be not like that at all. It's with acid you have more of a choice, but
right, you can kind of guide it more. But when shrooms just kind of push you in that.
Guide you.
Yeah. When you're on acid, you're driving the car. When you're on shrooms, you're in the passenger seat. When you're on
DMT, you're in a rocket ship. I don't know.
Yeah, they said when you're on DMT, you're strapped to the back of a rocket, just flying through the cosmos. And then I forgot there was one of them where you were in the back seat of the car, but I forgot that.
But yeah, I really want to do an ayahuasca ceremony too, because when people do ayahuasca, almost every time they do it, they meet Mother Ayahuasca, which is a snake. It's a female snake being. And I've heard that a major difference from how you learn from shrooms versus ayahuasca, which is shrooms just throw a bunch of information at you, which I can confirm.
It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, it can be super confusing. But on ayahuasca, Mother Ayahuasca will just tell you what you need to do.
Oh, it puts it straightforward.
We'll give you specific things that you have to do, which will help you.
So, I know that ayahuasca is DMT, but is it weaker? I know it lasts longer, but is it weaker than DMT?
I think it is, yeah.
You should look into that because I think it's a few $1,000s to go down to somewhere in South America and do it. Yeah. And there's tons of other people who do it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You want to know one of my cool shroom stories?
Please.
Yeah. So I did an 1/8 of shrooms with my best friend Nico, and we weren't expecting that much from it, but they were actually just really good shrooms, really strong.
Oh.
And
underestimated.
Yeah. And we had an incredible trip, and that was the most incredible experience of my life, and beneficial. and just
Hmm.
like the most important like experience, honestly. And
Like most meaningful thing to ever happen.
yeah, definitely. And
Wow.
and at certain points, I would forget if I was me or my friend Nico. Like
Really,
I would
I've
literally
heard so
forget.
many
Yeah,
people say things that they could just kind of like feel like they could switch into other people's consciousness.
yeah, just
You had an
became like
ego death?
yeah. We both did. And we both kind of just became like completely one. And at one point, I even said like, "Dude," or I was like, "It's like we're both talking, but it's just coming out of me when I was talking." And the same thing
Whoa.
with him. It was like both of us were talking, but we were having the same thought, but it was just coming out of him. And and then also we would hear the shroom, like the mushroom, talk to us, which is what it does. But it was through the music that we were listening to, and we would ask it something like out loud, and it would just like it would echo what we said back, but it would like be the answer. Which
Wow.
yeah, it's really crazy to like be on streams and you can just forget what's you and what's not. I remember my very first time. I wasn't even trying to have a spiritual experience, but I still got like a spiritual experience because me and my friend were like doing a handshake or something, and I thought his hand was mine, and I like forgot whose fingers were whose.
Whoa.
My friend thought I was gonna kill him on one of our acid trips.
Whoa, that must have fucking sucked.
Yeah, because it was like near the end, and I was like, "Yo, do you want me to go get you water?" Or like, "I'm getting water. Do you want me to go get you some?" And he was like, "Are you gonna kill me?" Like, yeah. Bro. And I was
Oh
like,
my
"Oh."
God. I
And
mean,
it
I
took
shouldn't be
like,
laughing, but that's just
I
so
mean, no,
absurd.
it's kind of funny. I mean, we laugh about it. Me and him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I heard Joe Rogan and Paul Stamets, who's a guy who believes in, I think I've mentioned him before, and he's just like he's done a lot of mushrooms. He studies it, and Joe Rogan was mentioning what's it called? Just jujitsu fighters who would microdose and fight on mushrooms, and he said that they said they could like see punches being thrown and kicks being kicked before they were actually kicked. Like he could predict things
Dude,
happening
I
before they even
believe that.
happened.
Yo,
Yeah, and
my
I think that just because of the MRI studies they found where they all the interconnection between your neural nodes, and it makes sense. There were other people who are saying that this could be used to increase intelligence, which most definitely it can. And there's a lot of coders in Silicon Valley that are microdosing to help them with their coding efficiency, just because
hmm
it is just the most powerful nootropic, you know?
yeah.
Just a drug that interconnects neural nodes. Like that's big. And I don't think people realize that. Paul
hmm
Stamets, he actually has a company where he sells capsules of little grinded up mushroom shreddings, which are microdose. So you take a capsule, it just looks like your average herbal capsule. You take it and then you feel a little happier. Everything feels a little more smooth and you feel a little more in control of yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the future, man. I think
Yeah.
once,
Definitely.
a lot more studies get out, and it's going to take a while for, all the political aspects of it to get passed, but I really do believe in mushrooms for the future. I feel like, I mean, at first it's only going to be medicinal uses, just like when weed first got open. But I think that, there are going to be, recreational mushrooms opening up, just like with in Amsterdam where they have legal truffles.
If America keeps its government system, I'm not really sure if we can ever legalize like psychedelics unless some change happens in the government.
It depends on the people, first of all. I'm sure as the generations grow and move on, there will be like all the people that are in office right now will get old and retire, and then we'll have a new set of younger people who will be in the Senate and all the parts of the government, and obviously a new president. So these
Yeah.
people will be much different than the previous people, a lot more open-minded, and they'll recognize the benefits. They'll know the studies, and I think it's extremely likely that I mean, it's already been decriminalized in Denver, or not? Yeah, Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
and is being decriminalized in a lot of other states. So that's what first happened with weed. It got decriminalized, and then started being used as a medicine, and then it becomes recreational in a few states, and weed's soon going to become federally recreational. I truly believe that's the future with shrooms, but it's going to take a while. It's not going to happen in the next decade. It might take even 30 or 40 years for that to even come about. It will change society because that, it's big. The shit that it does to you. I'm going to end the live right here. Thanks for talking with me, Oliver. Great conversation. We should talk again tomorrow. Peace out, bro.
Peace out.